Hi everyone. This weekend when I went camping from the 26th to the 28th, I had a couple dreams regarding somebody that I was praying for over the weekend, but I also had a short vision before I woke up on the 27th, on Saturday. Actually, I'm sorry, it was on Saturday night, so it would be Sunday morning, the 28th. Before I woke up, I had a vision where it was a short dream where I was walking down a city street, and there was only a couple of people out. It was sort of odd because there wasn't a lot of people walking around, and me and the other people I saw were wearing the white medical masks like you see in this picture. And you only wear those to prevent diseases from spreading, or if there's great pollution, to protect yourself from. So I just knew in my dream that we had to wear them. So most likely it was due to preventing illnesses from spreading. And then I found it, and I just chalked it up to just being a dream. You know, because it was so literal. But perhaps the Lord was showing me that, you know, we need to be concerned about the Ebola thing, because, as we all know, yesterday in the news, 2 days later on the 30th, the whole thing about the patient that was diagnosed in Dallas, Texas, was reported. So, let's see. Let's listen to a couple news articles about that.
This morning, the door-to-door investigation begins. Health officials, including a crew from the Centers for Disease Control, now in Dallas, in search of anyone who may have come in contact with the first patient diagnosed with Ebola in the United States.
The patient admitted to this hospital has tested positive for Ebola virus, the cause of Ebola virus disease.
According to the CDC, the unidentified patient traveled from Liberia on September 19th, landing in the United States the following day, September 20th. Doctors say he did not feel sick until the 24th.
The patient was visiting family members and staying with family members who live in this country.
Ebola is a virus that can affect multiple organ systems and can sometimes cause internal bleeding. Though symptoms don't appear for 2 to 21 days after infection, signs do include sudden fever, weakness, muscle pain, headaches, and a sore throat. The disease is also spread by direct contact via bodily fluids, only after symptoms begin.
This is not transmitted by the air. There's no risk to a person in this hospital who's walking or as a patient. There's simply no reason to be fearful of that.
Paramedics who transported the patient now quarantined. The ambulance used, decontaminated. It's cordoned off. There's some concern because ambulance 37 was used for 2 days after transporting the patient, though health officials saying it's okay. The city spokeswoman telling CNN that Dallas County Health Department has confirmed that paramedics did follow proper guidelines to avoid contaminating additional patients. So far, none of the crew members are exhibiting signs of the disease. This, as the CDC says, fellow passengers on that same flight from Liberia are likely not at risk. Still, doctors warn to remain vigilant.
That we'll stop this in its tracks in the U.S. But I also have no doubt that as long as the outbreak continues in Africa, we need to be on our guard.
So let me just accentuate again, Chris. On the 20th, this person arrived in the United States without any symptoms, was not feeling sick. 24th is when they started to get sick, but it wasn't until the 28th where the person went into the hospital and was put in isolation. The person did go to the hospital once in between, Chris. 2 days earlier, went to the hospital seeking care, but for some reason was not tested at that point, despite the fact the person had symptoms and had this recent travel history to Liberia, and there was this concern. So that's going to be an open question still, Chris. We got to get answered. 4 days where this person was sick before they went to the hospital.
The devil's trying hard not to let me publish this because I keep getting these Internet Explorer errors, and my first video was messed up. It got deleted. Okay, so here's a news article from Fox News. CDC confirms first case, and as you heard in the video, he flew from the 19th to the 20th into Dallas, Texas from Liberia. And then he didn't have symptoms until 4 or 5 days later on the 24th. And then he sought care on the 26th, so there was 2 days. He was home with his family, in contact with them, before he went to the hospital. And when he went to the hospital on the 26th, they sent him home with some medication, but they didn't test him. So then he had another 2 days. Not only was he in contact with his family member for 4 days now, but he also was in contact with the ambulance that picked him up on the 28th with those people. The ambulance itself, which they used for 2 more days, as you heard in the video. And the emergency room on the 24th when he first went there. This 26th when he first went there. On Friday the 26th, but he wasn't admitted until Sunday the 28th. And that was the morning that I had the short vision. And I didn't see TV all since Thursday or news, because I was just with my iPhone and no computer when I was camping. So I just thought that that was too coincidental, and perhaps the Lord was revealing to me, to pray about that. We need to pray that it won't become an epidemic here as it has in Africa, because the African Ebola outbreak began, it states here, December 2013. So it's been around. It began in Guinea, and it spread to Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria, and Senegal. So it's been around almost 2 years. But as you can see, the numbers increase at a more rampant pace once it's, starts out slowly because it multiplies, and then it just escalates from there. So it's almost been 2 years. And according to this article, the Washington Post, Ebola could infect 1.4 million in Liberia and Sierra Leone by end of January. So 1.4 million since it started in Guinea in December 2013. So after 2 years, the probability of it infecting up to 1.4 million is there. And so just a little thing, just something to show you how the rate, and then after that it just compounds even more, So we need to pray that the Lord stops it from spreading that way in the United States, and pray for that man and his family and the workers involved. Pray for Africa. Pray for all those infected, that the Lord would just, protect those whom are His, and to put an end to the enemy. And, this may just be one of the many epidemics and pestilences that the Lord says will befall us in, the end times. However, we can still pray for those involved, and for the Christians and those that are walking with the Lord, that He protects those whom He chooses and to be with us in this time. So I just pray that you will be safe and guard your heart, mind, and body from the enemy by reading his word, praying without ceasing, and looking to him no matter what may come. God bless.